everybody, it's Kristen.
And it's Robin.
And welcome back to 50 and Fearless. We'd like to continue on a similar vein as our last video in talking about what we plan to do in 2019 to be successful with our strange diets that we're on. So most of you might recall that I am a weight loss surgery patient. I'm a bariatric patient. I had a surgery called a duodenal switch. If you've ever heard of gastric bypass, mine is similar to that. It was my stomach was made much smaller. It's the size of a banana, and my intestines were rerouted, and so I have a shortened bowel. So because I have a shortened bowel, I have absorption issues, and some of the absorption issues I have resulted in my now becoming, at almost 50 years old, a kidney stone former. I create calcium oxalate kidney stones. It's rather complicated, but what that means is that I have to very much restrict my diet. I am not allowed to have oxalate foods, and oxalate foods are often plant-based, fruit-based. I can't have grapefruit, can't have chocolate, I can't have black tea, kombucha, I cannot have root vegetables, which include, of course, potatoes and sweet potatoes, turnips, parsnips, all those types of things. I had to give up spinach, which is my absolute favorite food in the entire world. And all nuts have oxalates, and sesame oil has oxalates. Avocados have oxalates, and many of the more common condiments or seasonings, spices, such as black pepper, turmeric, all the curries, cinnamon, and cumin, and so many more. So that has just been a crazy realization to realize that, you know, because of those foods, along with high sodium, along with high fat, along with higher carbs, and because I was not getting enough calcium and getting enough water, because it's hard to drink as a bariatric patient, to get all the water you need to flush all this stuff out, I made the most gigantic stone that you can even possibly imagine. Now, that's why I've had to go on a crazy diet. Tell the family out there about the reasons why you have chosen to go on a very crazy diet.
I felt like it was the best option for me once I started developing all of these diet-related disorders, I guess you would call them. I weigh essentially the same as Kristen. I'm a lot shorter than she is, so I'm very round. I look like a lollipop from the side. The lollipops are good, so we're okay. And so I've got sleep apnea. I have now cardiovascular disease. I didn't have a diagnosis of that before last year. So of course, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all the fun things. I've got bone-on-bone arthritis in my knees, my feet swell, you know, so all of the things that you would expect somebody who is obese and getting older and not eating great to experience. And, you know, diabetes was the next thing on the list, or a heart attack or something horrible. And so I had been researching, and I had been going more plant-based anyway for the last couple of years. And I found a book by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn called Prevention and Reversal of Heart Disease, or Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And I had seen him in several documentaries that I had watched, and so I bought the book and started reading it, and I like the research basis of it. But when you have documented heart disease, he recommends, of course, that you go on a whole foods plant-based diet. If you have documented heart disease, he recommends getting rid of all of the healthy fats. So avocados, oil, nuts, seeds, peanut butter, all of that stuff. So that needs to go. And he has a chapter in the book that's titled Moderation Kills. And basically what he says is, even though those things are considered healthy, that your body is still going to respond to the fat, and you're going to continue to develop blockages in your arteries, maybe at a slower pace, but you're going to continue to develop them. Whereas his research has shown that if you adhere very strictly to this diet plan, that heart disease has been shown to be reversed, which would be wonderful. Either way, I will feel better, I'll look better, I'll have more energy. So I'm willing to try it. I need to do something.
So basically, you're doing a vegetarian diet, no cheese,
vegan diet.
no cheese, no eggs, no nuts, no avocados, no healthy oils. Pretty restrictive. Pretty restrictive. One of the things that I think, I'm speaking for Robin, and maybe she'll disagree, but you know, we talked about in our last video that we are both giving up eating out in fast foods, and we're both starting to meal prep, menu plan, and shop with greater intentionality.
Yes.
You know, shop for the foods we're going to be preparing. Now, I have 3 teenage kids and a laborer husband who works like a dog and eats like a man. But you know, we're both trying to find ways to feed ourselves, feed our families on a budget. And so eating out is not really very agreeable to us, because it's not easy to get vegan foods that are healthy at a fast food restaurant.
Right. More fast food restaurants are offering vegetarian and vegan choices, but that doesn't mean that they're healthy for you. We are starting to see more vegetarian and vegan friendly restaurants opening up here in town, which is kind of exciting. And that's a way that I try things that I haven't tried before. We went to a restaurant recently and Kristen tried the jackfruit tacos, and I had been curious about it, but I had never tried it before, and it was delicious.
Now, I will say it was very, very good, and I really, really enjoyed it. However, I have no idea what the oxalate value is of jackfruit, which scares me to death, because if you had any idea, guys, how high spinach is, it's unbelievable. Because of my malabsorption issues, I probably should be sticking to about 50 oxalates or less a day, okay? So I pretty much need to be shopping and cooking the no oxalate foods, because, you know, they add up really quickly. And spinach, remember, I'm supposed to be at about 50 a day. If you do not have a malabsorptive situation and you're eating low oxalate, you have a bank of about 100 a day, okay? One small serving of spinach is about 650 oxalates in one small serving. That's days and 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 days of oxalates.
Right.
In one serving of spinach.
Right, exactly. Something that is always considered to be healthy.
So what if jackfruit's like that?
Right, exactly.
Oh.
She did struggle. We went to a restaurant. I chose a restaurant and did not think about the fact that because it's a vegetarian/vegan restaurant, that a lot of the things on the menu were probably going to be
High
off
oxalate.
limits. Yeah, and so Kristen really had to study the menu, and thank goodness that the wait staff was
Right.
wonderful. They answered
Well,
all her
and
questions.
actually, it wasn't a jackfruit quesadilla on the menu. It was a jackfruit sandwich on wheat bread.
That's right.
And
They modified it for
they
you.
modified it to do corn tortillas, which are much lower oxalate than wheat bread, but it's just, whew, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's really
it's very
hard.
difficult.
And you know, for me, a restaurant that we like to go to after church on Sundays is a Chinese restaurant. Love Chinese food. probably can get low oxalate there. But I need to talk to these people because I do love them. They do care for us. We eat there all the time. But in thinking about it, I bet you they're using sesame oil. That's why it tastes so good. I love sesame oil. Most Chinese cooking is done with sesame oil. Well, sesame oil is the only oil that retains the oxalates. And it's high. Like sesame oil is very, very high oxalate. So, oh guys, it's really, it's scary. I mean, I get to a point where, I can't have hardly any salt, so I'm afraid to eat meats, and I'm afraid to eat vegetables, and I'm afraid to eat salads, and it's been a really big challenge for me. And I'll be honest, going through the holidays, I didn't have a good attitude. I really didn't. From July on, I really haven't had a good attitude.
She's been upset about it, but how can you blame her? I mean, if you think about the things she's just told you about what she cannot eat and why, the pain, you have to know that the pain that she went through last year was so severe that she's willing to do this.
And pain is a motivator, but sepsis kills people. And I don't want to die of sepsis, or I don't want to lose my kidneys.
Right.
Right. I don't want to go on dialysis because of because of spinach. God forbid. Because of spinach, I have to have dialysis. So
no, we don't want that.
No,
we don't want that at all.
And so another thing is, I will be seeing a nephrologist soon. I don't have the appointment yet, but in the near future, I'm going to be seeing a nephrologist. I did actually join a kidney stone prevention course online with some pretty knowledgeable people, and I've learned a lot. So I'm gaining wisdom. I'm gleaning. I'm getting insight. Getting knowledge, and I'm being gentle on myself to an extent, because man, this is complicated. And I told Robin earlier, I said, if I'm doing the very best I can, it's the very best I can do. I'm not going to get it right all the time, but I am doing the very best I can do.
And I've been with her a couple of times where we were out doing something, we decided we wanted to stop and pick up something that we could eat for a snack because we were going to be busy and working hard. And Kristen looked at everything in the store pretty much, just read labels, and still, when we got back to where we were going, she looked at the ingredient label and realized
actually
there was something on there she wasn't supposed to have.
Actually, I took a bite of it and realized, remember?
You did.
I took a bite of it and I'm like, oh no,
this is potato.
This is potato. It's not pretzels at all. And it's these old eyes. I mean that label reading is hard.
Well, and after reading so many too. It's hard. And for me, it's really easy to be a fat vegan. Really easy. I mean, there are a lot of chips, Fritos, Nutter Butters, Oreos. They're all accidentally vegan. And, it's like, oh, I can go into, the store. I can go into the convenience store if I haven't planned anything. And, oh yeah, Nutter Butters, those look good. I'm not supposed to have any of the stuff in it. But it's vegan. Ooh, I'm going to eat it. So no, I can't. So processed foods are really.
I bet there's oil in Nutter Butters.
Oh well, there's nuts.
Vegan. Yeah.
There's peanut butter in there. I'm not supposed to have that anyway.
Oh,
so
goodness.
it's just too easy. And I have become too desensitized to what I'm eating and why I'm eating it and when I'm buying it. Soda is a huge issue for me. It's really easy to drive through somewhere and get a giant Coke, and they're big. You guys,
this is Texas.
Have you heard of Whataburger? Whataburger's got giant sodas.
Giant.
And it's terrible. It's horrible. There's nothing good for you in a soda. Nothing. And so, it's something that I struggle with all the time, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand if they don't have this kind of issue. And it's addictive, and there are things in the foods that are proven to be addictive.
I believe that a big part of my weight issue was mindless eating. just
Absolutely.
bite after bite after bite after bite without even thinking about it, without even caring, not a care in the world. And one of the things that we were discussing earlier is that failing is easy. It's easy to fail. But, you know, it takes discipline and commitment to be successful. And, you know, we decided we're too old to be failures.
That's right.
And
But we
don't-
also know that we need help. We can't do it by ourselves.
That's right.
We haven't been able to do it.
That's right. And that's where the
ourselves.
accountability comes in. That's where the honesty comes in. That's where the, you know, real work gets done, is when we say, okay, you know, this gotta end.
It's got to stop.
It's gotta stop, you
Yeah.
know. And so, you know, just putting it all out there, guys, putting it all out there. We know that we have viewers that are in similar situations. Either you have a weight problem or you have a health problem. If you're near 50, over 60, over 70, you know, you've probably either A, got a problem, or B, fear a problem that somebody in your family had. So,
Right.
you know,
And they're coming. They're coming. If you feel like you can eat anything that you want and you're living on processed foods and junk food,
oxalates.
oxalates, right? It's the problems are coming. These diet related things are gonna get you at some point,
Yeah.
and they're not fun.
No, they're not. And, you know, we are going to find ways to build success into our plan, you know, to make this work. And we don't have an option. We don't have an option. And, you know, y'all don't have an option either. So we're here for you. And we care, and we want to see you succeed as well as us. We want to go into 2020 in the best health of our life and the best shape of our life, and really ready to enjoy and have some fun. Because you know what, guys? We can make this fun. We can make this fun. It doesn't have to be, and that's where I was struggling. I don't think low oxalate eating is fun. But you know what? I've got to make it fun, because if it's not fun at all, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to want to do it, and I'm not going to do it. And because I have that rebel in me, you
Right,
know?
exactly.
And you just can't take the spinach away from me, and I'm not going to put up a fight. So,
And
no,
it's too easy to say, oh, just this once. It's no big deal.
Right.
You know.
no. Well, I told you, spinach is days and days and days and days and days and days and days of oxalates.
Right.
So it's not an option. You know, that's not an option. And not just spinach, it's all these things. Chocolate. Did I mention chocolate?
No.
I have to eat
Every
white
time
chocolate.
she tells me something that she cannot have. We did a white chocolate taste test.
It wasn't any good.
Not really.
Oh, wait.
Well, you found one you liked.
But the Godiva wasn't good.
No, the Godiva wasn't good.
No, and it was expensive, but I
Yeah.
did find one I like.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about things that we find as we find them. Maybe
That's
we'll do a grocery haul or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll-
I think we will.
We probably will have to, so you can see. Well, obviously you'll be able to tell we're eating, you know, unless we waste away to nothing right away. But yeah, we'll have to show
No
you.
fear.
We'll have to show you what we find to eat that we enjoy, and that we think you might enjoy too if you're having similar problems. So,
Yeah.
all right. So
We'll be seeing you soon.
yeah, thank you for joining us.
Happy
if-
New Year.
Yes, and if this was beneficial for you at all, or if you enjoyed it at all, or you just feel bad for us because we can't eat anything, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.